Joining me now to discuss his piece in the D.C. Journal is the Senior Director of Government Affairs for the National Taxpayers Union, Tommy Aiello. Thanks for joining us. Good piece.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Look, I get it. Some old school Republicans might say, who is the president to boss around these businesses? But China is not a fair player. They are not treating us with equal respect. They steal our intellectual property. They tariff our goods. That's neither free, fair, nor reciprocal trade. And in the case of intellectual theft, that's downright criminal. We can't continue trading jobs for cheap stuff. And with what the Republicans are doing now is looking to create more jobs and less welfare recipients.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the president's negotiating a trade deal with China. We'll have to see what the details entail from that deal. But I'm hopeful we'll have some more clarity and certainty once we have a final deal reached. And look, the president is 100% right. We want to create more jobs, build more things right here in America. We think the best way to do that is through tax certainty, which we did through the president's tax bill. 2, American energy dominance. That means more energy to fuel our factories. And 3, permitting reform. It takes way too long to build factories in America. That needs to change.
Last night we were discussing these AI supercenters. The Daily Mail did a piece on them saying they could be as large as the island of Manhattan, where I'm broadcasting from tonight. One of the things I see President Trump doing, even if it's not expressly the policy position, is, look, AI is going to do to the economy what automobiles did to horse and buggies, right? That what the internet did to retail, what the ATM and self-checkout did to those jobs. And by ensuring that more jobs are being created, there'll be less of an impact when AI starts to affect jobs. We might have, what I'm saying is there'll be new jobs to be there if people are displaced in some way.
Yeah, that's right. So the AI boom, as I like to call it, it's in full swing. It feels like every day we have a new announcement for tens of billions of dollars of investment into the AI economy. That's great. Anytime we're talking about investments, that's a good thing. And I think as they start to build, they're going to have to figure out, one, where are they going to get the power from? You see a lot of investments into energy infrastructure. That's pipelines, fracking, oil production, and in some cases, nuclear. And then 2, where are they going to get the water from? It's actually going to take more water than fuel in order to power a lot of these data centers to cool them. And when we talk about the transition in this economy to the AI economy, things that won't go out of business are those blue-collar workers like plumbers and electricians. We're going to need more of those jobs. So I think we need to train our workers to be in that future field, and maybe fewer office workers, which seem to be on the chopping block from AI.
Well, and the truth is, look, automation, it replaces a worker, but also it frees up workers to do more important things. And like I said last night, when you go to a store or you go to a hotel, you're not asking someone in a uniform to push the button for you. You pretty much know if you got to go to the 3rd floor, you push 3 and the door's open, you get in. Somebody's not cranking the handle closed to close the door and raise the elevator. There are just some things we don't need people to do anymore, but people do need jobs, right? So to say that automation or AI may replace a worker, it's nice to know that we've got a long-term plan to have jobs that there'll be for people to do if AI, like automation, replaces them.
Yeah, that's right. And then if you take a look at the tax bill, it's going to create about 1 million jobs just because of the provisions in the tax code. We're going to need a lot of workers to fill those jobs. So, if there is a transition period, as you mentioned, for some of these workers, hopefully they'll be able to find other portions of the economy to get there. So, look, we've had these transitions in the past. Even still, a lot of our factories where we produce stoves and other appliances and cars, a lot of them have moved towards automation, which is not necessarily a bad thing because, one, in theory, it should keep costs lower to produce them, which means consumers get better prices. We shouldn't be afraid of this transition. We should embrace it, but we should also have that foresight to say, maybe in 5 years, some of these jobs will not exist. And I think that's a possibility that many should prepare for.
Also, getting the border under control. I say it every time we talk about this issue. Americans, look, and I don't mean any condescending tone here. Millions of Americans that just work to pay the bills and have a roof over their head and live their lives, not necessarily career-driven, should not have to compete with the entire third world just to get a decent-paying job in retail or hospitality or construction or whatever it is with the whole world, right? The immigration system should allow a requisite number of people in, but Americans should not be flooded with labor to the point where they can't get a decent paying job in their own country. And that's also a win here. I'll give you the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think you have a point. And that's one thing that the One Big Beautiful Bill did. It said, hey, if you're an illegal immigrant in this country, you're no longer eligible for Medicaid. There's about 2 million illegals on Medicaid. It makes a lot of changes to that and to our food assistance programs. You need to provide more paperwork to verify, one, that you're eligible for these programs, and two, you're not bilking the system. And all in all, because of the House Freedom Caucus, we save about $1.1 trillion over 10 years. It's a small step to how we ride our fiscal ship, but it's a necessary step in that direction.
All right. I got to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.